Hello everyone, I am Vishali Kikar and we are discussing the organic chemistry. So today we are going to start our discussion with the isomers. So the simplest type of isomers are the structural isomers. What are the structural isomers? Where two or more than two compounds that have same molecular formula but different structural formula. So if I see the molecular formula, it would be same. If I see the structure would be different. For example, C4H10. C4H10 is the molecular formula which is same for these two structures. So here this is butane, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, and here this is 2-methyl propane, CH3, CH, CH3 connected to CH3. So here you can see here we have a methyl group connected to the propane. In the propane we have removed one hydrogen and connected the methyl group over there. If I see the overall carbon, it is 4. If I see the overall number of hydrogen, it is 10. So C4H10, and here also we have C4H10. So molecular formula would be same, whereas the structure is differing in both of these cases. Similarly, we have isomers of C6H14. So here we have CH3, CH2, 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 CH3, which is a chain of 6 carbon atoms, that is the hexane, which is the first structure for C6H14. The second structure for C6H14 would be CH3CH2CH, CH3CH2CH3, which is 3-methyl pentane. So here you can see we have a chain of 5 carbon atom. Again, we can have a chain of 5 carbon atom. We can have a different structure, CH3CH, CH3CH2, CH2, CH3. This is my 2-methyl pentane. This is my chain of 5 carbon atom. Now coming to this structure. Now I have the same molecular formula, C6H14, and I can have a chain of 4 carbon atom as well. So here you can see we have the longest chain of 4 carbon atom, whereas if I calculate the total number of carbon and hydrogen, it would be C6H14 only. So CH3C, CH3, CH3, CH2, CH2. So this is 2,2-dimethylbutane. This is also having the isomeric structure for the C6H14. Again, this is also an isomer of C6H14, which is CH3CH, CH3CH, CH3, CH3, which is again a chain of 4 carbon atom, 2,3-dimethylbutane. So from here we have understood hexane, 3-methyl pentane, 2-methyl pentane, 2,2-dimethylbutane, 2,3-dimethylbutane are all the isomers of C6H14. Coming to the isomers of C6H12. So here this is the first isomer, hex 2E, CH3CH, double bond CH, CH2, CH2, CH3. We can have hex 3E as well, CH3, CH2, CH, double bond CH, CH2, CH3. This is the third type of isomer, CH3, CH2, CH2, C, CH3, double bond CH2. This is 2-methyl pent1ene, right? Coming to the next structure, CH2, double bond CH, CH2, CH, CH3, CH3. This is 4-methyl pent1ene. CH3, CH2, C, double CH, double bond C, CH3, CH3. This is 2-methyl pent2ene. So you can see if I count the longest chain of carbon, it will be having 5 carbons. So it is the 5 carbon chain, and a double bond is also present. Again, we have a 5 carbon chain, CH3CH2C, CH3CH, CH3. Here we have the double bond at the location number 2, so 3-methyl pent2ene. So I can say isomers of C6H12 are hex 2ene, hex 3ene, 2-methyl pent1ene, 4-methyl pent1ene, 2-methyl pent2ene, 3-methyl pent2ene. So now coming to the some pair of functional group isomers. Some functional groups are also the pair of isomers, right? If I see alcohol and ether, here alcohol is CH3CH2OH and ether is CH3OCH3. If I calculate the total number of carbon, it would be 2, total number of hydrogen will be 6 and 1 oxygen. Here also total number of carbon would be 2, total number of hydrogen would be 6 and 1 oxygen. Similarly, we have carboxylic acid, CH3CH2COOH and CH3CH2OCOOH, which is my ether, right? So I can say CH3CH2OH, that is my alcohol, and CH3OCH3, which is the ether. They are both the isomers, because here if I calculate, I have 2 carbon, 6 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. Here also I have 2 carbon, 6 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So alcohol and ether are isomers. The functional groups are isomers. Here also if I see the carboxylic acid and esters, so CH3CH2COOH and CH3CH2OCOOH will also be the isomers. Again, I see aldehyde and ketone, CH3CH2CO H and CH3, C double bond O, CH3. This is the ketone, aldehyde and ketone. If you see, the molecular formula would be same, but the structure is different. So now coming to the structure of benzene. If I see the structure of benzene, I told you in the benzene we have 6 carbons, right? So if I observe the 6 carbon ring and we have the 2 double bonds, I told you that we have the 2 double bonds in the benzene, but we were representing the benzene as this, right? Why we are representing the benzene ring as this? Because the various bonds are not the double bond and the single bond. The length of the bond is in between the double and the single bond. So first is we have a structure of benzene which is different from this structure. If I see this structure, what is this structure? This is cyclohexane-1,3,5-triene. So this structure is different from benzene. Why? We have some evidences. First evidence is from the carbon-carbon bond length. If I see the carbon-carbon bond length, here we have a double bond and a single bond as well. So C double bond C will be having the length 0.133 nanometer. C single bond C will be having the length 0.154 nanometer. But whereas if I calculated the bond length in the benzene, it is 0.140, which is in between the double bond and the single bond. Why it is so? Because here we have average of 3 electrons. If I see a single bond, it will be having 2 electrons. If I see a double bond, it will be having 4 electrons. If I see the average of 2 and 4 electrons in the benzene, it will be having 3 electrons. So here nor I have a 4 electron nor I have a 2 electrons for a bond in the benzene. I have an average of 3 electrons for each bond, and due to which the length of the carbon-carbon bond is also in between the double bond and the single bond, which is 0.140 nanometer. Coming to the thermochemical evidence, if I see this structure, right, here I have a single double bond which is present in the cyclic ring structure of the carbon. If I add hydrogen, so the enthalpy is minus 120 kilojoule per mole. If I see this structure, again this is the structure which we are talking about, and we are differentiating this structure from the benzene. If I see this structure, if I add 3 hydrogen, the enthalpy changes minus 360 kilojoule per mole. But if I see benzene and if I add 3 hydrogen over here, and if I get this structure, so enthalpy changes minus 205 only. So 120 into 3 is minus 360. If I observe that I have 3 double bond over here, so it would be thrice of this, right? It should be this only, but overall benzene is more stable than this structure. So you can see the enthalpy level diagram. You can see this is my structure which is not having any double bond. This is a cyclic carbon structure with only the single bonds which are present. So if I move up by minus 360 kilojoule per mole, I will be having the cyclohexa-1,3,5-triene, right? But if I move up by minus 205 kilojoule per mole, I will be having the benzene. So the benzene is more stable than cyclohexa-1,3,5-triene, right? By how much enthalpy? By 155 kilojoule per mole. So I can say benzene is more stable, and due to which this structure is not existing, benzene is existing. We have observed it from the thermochemical evidence as well. Coming to the next evidence, that is evidence from the number of isomers of C6H4Cl2. We had observed that the number of isomers for C6H4Cl2 are 3 only. These are only the 3 isomers. But if I consider the structure cyclohexa-1,3,5-triene, in that structure there are 4 possibilities for C6H4Cl2 based upon the double bonds. So here in this double bond, the 2 chlorine are present on this double bond. The 2 chlorine here are present on the single bond. Here the 2 chlorines are present at 180 degree, and here this is the location of 2 chlorine. Now these 2 chlorine isomers are different, but here in this case I have only one isomer which contains the 2 chlorine, right? Because there is no such single bond and a double bond in the benzene. This is another evidence. Coming to the last evidence, that is evidence from the reaction of benzene. Cyclohexa-1,3,5-triene will be having an addition reaction. So how it is reacting? It will be undergoing through addition reaction. When it is going inside the bromine water, it will be doing the decolorization of the bromine water. Whereas if I put benzene in the bromine water, there will be no addition reaction and no decolorization of the bromine water. Now if I observe the benzene, benzene will be undergoing the substitution reaction. So benzene plus Cl2 in the presence of a catalyst like AlCl3 is going to give me the substitution reaction. Hydrogen is substituted with chlorine and here we are going to get HCl. Coming to the functional group chemistry. So coming to the alkanes. Alkanes are my non-polar compound. We all know it is composed of hydrogen and carbon only, both of them are non-polar. So here only London forces will be present, due to which they are volatile, right? London forces are not very strong forces, they are volatile, and even if I say first four members of the alkanes are group gases only, and they are even insoluble in water because water is polar, and whereas if I say alkanes, alkanes are non-polar. So coming to the reaction, first reaction is about the complete combustion, where you can understand this reaction with the help of this reaction. So 2C2H6 in gaseous form plus 7O2 is going to give me 4CO2 in gaseous plus 6H2O. So here what is happening? So C2H6, which is my alkane, it is going to be oxidized in the presence of 7O2 to give CO2 and H2 only. Coming to the incomplete combustion, incomplete combustion is the combustion in the presence of lesser oxygen. So 2C2H6 plus 5O2 is giving me 4CO plus 6H2O. So in case of incomplete combustion, I am generating some toxic gases like carbon monoxide. So this should be avoided, and this is a dirty kind of combustion. So this is a good combustion. Complete combustion is a preferred combustion. It's a good combustion. Unreactivity of alkanes. Why alkanes are non-reactive or very less reactive? First reason is that high strength of carbon-carbon bond and the carbon-hydrogen bond, because only carbon-carbon bond and carbon-hydrogen bond are present in the alkanes. So and these are stable bond as well. So high energies are required to break this bond. So these are stable, they are unreactive. Carbon-carbon and carbon-hydrogen bond are non-polar, so they are not going to attract the polar molecules and ions. This is the second reason. So coming to the reaction of alkanes with halogen. So reaction of alkanes with halogen will only take place in the presence of UV light. So CH4 plus Cl2 in the presence of UV light is going to give me CH3Cl plus HCl. So now this is a substitution reaction. So we can have the different type of reactions also, like CH4 plus Cl2 is giving me HCl plus CH3Cl. Now this CH3Cl can further react with Cl2 to form HCl and CH2Cl2. So now the CH2Cl2 can react with Cl2 to form HCl and CHCl3. Now CHCl3 can react with Cl2 to form HCl and CCl4. So this is also called the free radical substitution. What is the free radical substitution? Here we have the different stages. First is the initiation stage, in which Cl2 under the presence of UV light, it is going to generate two free radicals of chlorine, 2Cl chlorine radical free. This is the free radical of the chlorine, which is very high reactive. So now this highly reactive chlorine can now react with the alkenes, because these were not very highly reactive. So I need to produce a free radical for reaction with the alkene. So now if I see why, if I have the UV light, I have the alkane and I have the chlorine, only why I had formed the chlorine radical, not the alkane radical, because the Cl-Cl bond is having the enthalpy 242 kilojoule per mole. So to break it, 242 kilojoule per mole energy is required, but to break CH bond 412 kilojoule per mole energy is required. So this bond is more stronger, whereas chlorine-chlorine bond is less stronger and it will break to form the free radical. So mostly chlorine free radical will be formed first, and free radical are the species with unpaired electron, and these are very reactive. So these are formed due to the homolytic fission. So if I have chlorine-chlorine molecules, Cl molecule will be having two electrons and we will be having homolytic fission. So in which one electron is going to one chlorine, another electron is going to another chlorine. So now I have a chlorine free radical which is going to be reacted with CH4. So when I have a chlorine free radical which is going to react with CH4, it is going to produce HCl and CH3 free radical. So this CH3 free radical can further react with Cl2 to form CH3Cl. This is a very highly reactive substance, and it can go and react with Cl2 to form CH3Cl. Again Cl radical is formed. Now this Cl radical will be undergoing the chain reaction, right? Undergoing the chain reaction, we can form all of these products, CH2, Cl2, CHCl3 and CCl4, right? After that, this is called the chain reaction to form CH2Cl2, CHCl3 and CCl4. After that we have the termination. Termination can be happening in either of the three cases. Either ClCl free radicals can combine to form Cl2, either Cl free radical combined with CH3 free radical to form CH3Cl, or CH3 free radical can combine to form C2H6, right? So we can have other products as well, like Cl can combine with CH3Cl and it can generate, Cl is the free radical, it can generate CH2Cl free radical plus HCl. Now CH2Cl free radical plus Cl2 can give CH2Cl2 plus Cl free radical. This Cl free radical can react with CH2Cl2 to form CHCl2 plus HCl. This CH2Cl2, the CHCl2 free radical plus Cl2 gives CHCl3 plus Cl free radical. So this is just a chain reaction that is going on. Cl free radical plus CHCl3 can give CCl3 free radical plus HCl. CCl3 free radical can react with Cl2 to form CCl4 plus Cl free radical. So what we have observed? We have observed the chain reaction to form CH2Cl2, CHCl3 and CCl4, right? So we can have the reaction of ethane and bromine as well. Bromine, under again the influence of UV light, can form the bromine free radical. So now bromine free radical can react with ethane C2H6 and form CH2CH3 free radical plus HBr. This CH2CH3 free radical can react with Br2 to form CH3CH2Br plus Br free radical, which can again go in the chain reaction. So now coming to the termination reaction here. The termination reaction would be Br free radical react with Br free radical to form Br2, Br free radical plus CH2CH3 free radical to form CH3CH2Br, and last CH2CH3 free radical react with CH2CH3 free radical to form CH3CH2CH2CH3. We can have other alkanes as well, CH3CH2CH2CH3 plus Cl2. It can undergo reaction under the UV light to form CH2Cl, CH2CH2CH3 plus HCl, or we can form the isomer as well, CH3, CHCl, CH2CH3. So these are two isomers that can be formed. So when I am undergoing the substitution reaction, we can generate any of the isomer as well. I hope you understood all of the things. Thank you so much.